Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview, June 6th on a Monday, 2016. Traders, this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Bright blue sunny skies, a little bit of overcast, and white sandy beaches. Traders, like I said, great to be with you. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot's going on in the markets. What about NFP? And we'll get to that in just a moment. Traders, let's move ahead. My name is William Gilday, and I am your moderator for the Market Opening Preview Series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, I will tell you that I do record this in the Asia session. So if you're looking at this in London, just go back about 10 candles, and you can see where I started my presentation. Traders, I've been trading from the year of 2006. In 2008, I retired as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Today's 9 days later, came to Thailand for a 3-month holiday. Well, my friends, I have been here in my 9th year right now and absolutely love trading in Asia, and it is just awesome. It's just a regular work day. Up early in the morning, go to sleep late at night, and I trade all 3 trading sessions. I will tell you that I do trade the New York session. However, I trade options. I do not trade Forex in the New York session, as I only do about 2 hours, 2.5 hours in New York, and that brings me about to 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, Thailand time. So I can't really trade Forex because I'm not a person that likes to keep trades overnight. So how do I trade? Well, first of all, I listen to fundamentals. I pay for newsfeed. I listen to fundamentals. It's very important in my trading. And if you would have asked me 5 years ago what I thought about fundamentals, I'd say I don't even listen to it. Well, my friends, I do. And today you have to listen to fundamentals. You need to know what's going on in the world. You need to know what's happening, because it affects our trading. Example, the Great British Pound. We'll get to that in just a moment. So I take my fundamentals, but I love being a technician. I love looking at charts, candlestick patterns, price action, price structure, and price failure. Also, price levels. Right? I love the double zeros. I love the 20, the 80, right? Those price levels to me, as a trader, I watch very closely. And over the years, my mentor showed me that if you look at those price levels, it makes a difference, and price reacts to those double zeros, the 20s, the 80s, and the 50s when you get to a price level at that point. So it's so important in my trading. So what I do is I take that fundamentals that we talked about, news basically, data, and then I take my analysis of my technicals on my chart and I put them together. At that point, I finished my analysis and I make a trade plan. And I set my trade plan. Once you set your trade plan, you put your trade plan in place, and that's it. It's done. You can start the trade whenever you want, but always stick with your plan, right? If price doesn't come back, I'm a pullback trader. I want price action to happen, pull back, and I want to stay within the trend, and I'll take my trade. It gives me about a 70%, maybe 74% chance that the trade will be successful. We know we're going to lose trades. That's just part of trading. But we want to try to keep the odds on our side as much as possible. Okay, that's enough about me. Let's talk about our risk disclaimer. Keep the legal people happy. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most importantly, and it is important, that you trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Remember, it's all about capital preservation, and if you don't have money in your account to trade tomorrow, you're not in business no more, right? So it's so important that you understand your drawdown, your risk. What is your money management system for you? And it's so important. And make sure you have that down solid, right? Don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, my friends. But always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's get over to news and commentary. We had NFP Friday, non-foreign payrolls, and it was a disaster, right? It was an absolute disaster. The charts are just all out of whack, and it was a disaster. So the June rate hike from the Fed is off the table. In fact, I don't think we're going to see a rate hike till October, maybe September. We're sure not going to see it June and July. That is done. That's off the table. those NFP numbers just blew that idea way out. So let's see how the markets closed on Friday. The Dow 30 closed negative 0.18%. The S&P 500 closed negative 0.29%. And then the NASDAQ closed negative 0.58%, with the small cap 2000 out of New York closed negative 0.73%. Let's head on over to the Eurozone, where the DAX out of Germany closed negative 1.03%. The FTSE 100 out of London was closed positive 0.39%. The CAC 40 out of Paris was negative 0.99%. And the Eurostock 50 was negative 1.21%. Traders, let's go over to Asia now. Some of the Asian markets are not open yet, as I'm recording this early. So we have some that are not open. I'll tell you which ones are not open so you know what's going on. All right, so the Nikkei 225 is currently trading at its negative 1.45%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Australia is positive 0.29%. The China A50 out of Shanghai closed on Friday at positive 0.61%, as they are not open. And the Hang Seng is not open yet, and they closed on Friday positive 0.42%. The Kospi out of Seoul is not open yet, and they should be. So they might be on a holiday today, but I did not see that. But they closed barely in the green on Friday at positive 0.04%. So Asia's not fully in gear yet. The closes of the other markets pretty bad. And let's go to our economic calendar. My friends, there is nothing happening in the Asia session as far as data is concerned. In fact, there's not a lot going on at all. We have a lot of medium impact news events, but the day is going to be very slow as far as data is concerned. In fact, I have to be honest with you, traders, there is only one high impact news event, and that will be at 12:30 in the afternoon, and Fed Chair Yellen speaks. Now, that's going to be a shaker, right? That's going to be, because everybody wants to know what she's going to react to of the NFP numbers. That was a disaster. What were they expecting, 160 or something like that? And they came out with, what, 37? I mean, it was horrible, right? And you'll see that in the charts. So not a lot of data today, and that's normal on a Monday, so that's nothing to be surprised about. So why don't we do this? Let's head over to the charts, and let's take a look at what we got. So take a look at the Eurodollar. Now, you can see the big blue candles there, and it actually, 3 hours, 1 hour and 30 minutes after that, continued upwards, and then, of course, went sideways, and then the markets closed. So I put a trend line here, and my trend line here, so we're ready to enter this trade, right? We're bearish on this, folks. I do not want to buy the euro dollar. This up move is because of data, so that doesn't do anything for me. We are bearish on the euro dollar. So I want to get in at 1.1343, and we're going to get out at this 55 EMA. And the reason is because that 55 EMA is pointing straight up, and we know price is not going to just slide through that. It's gonna take some work to get through that 55. And look at the angle of the 200 exponential moving average, again to the upside. I put this beige box on the chart, and I put that on there to show you when I talk about a wide open space. That's what I'm talking about. This has a wide open space, and I expect on the sell trade, we're not going to have no problems here. Even through the daily pivot, I don't think we're going to have a problem. I do think we're going to have a problem with this 55 if it stays in the angle that it's at right now. However, we're 6 hours before London Open, and if this turns to the side and comes flat, well, price will go right through it because, again, we're wide open spaces, right? We don't have anything till the 200 exponential moving average, which is the S1 pivot. So this is a sell trade. We want to sell this. However, I am going to wait until the London Open. All right, let's take a look at the pound dollar. Now, I'm bearish in the pound dollar, and if you traded the pound dollar for NFP, you did quite well. Now, why, I don't understand, but The pound is in its own world of its own. This week, I'm pretty sure, is the big vote whether they're going to stay in the euro or not. I was reading this morning, it's very close. It's like within 2 to 3 points between the stays and the goes. So I'd be honest with you, traders, I wouldn't even look at the pound this week until this Brexit vote is finished. It's too volatile. I mean, this should not have dumped like this. NFP was horrible. Every other chart is showing that it was against the dollar. And what does the pound do? It drops like a rock in favor of the dollar. So we really don't want to mess with this, and we're just going to stay away from it. And I'll probably stay away from it all week. I won't even look at a pound pair. It's just not worth it, right? Why am I going to miss my hard-earned equity on a pair that has a major vote coming up, whether to stay in the Eurozone or not? It's just not worth it. There's another 40 pairs, there's another 40 pairs we can look at if we have to trade, okay? All right, let's take a look at the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, again, reacted to NFP in the proper way. It moved up, and now it's sideways. Now it's coming back down. Let me tell you, my friends, their next interest rate decision, don't be surprised if we don't get a 0.50 rate cut. And they have room to do it, so it's not a big deal. But you can see now in Asia that we are starting to pull back to the downside. Now, I put a Fibonacci tool on the chart at the 38.2, and that's at 0.7289. I just want this to give me one more up candle, and then we can get in this. I'd love it for it to pull back up to resistance at 0.7360, and we'll sell it all the way down to 0.7289. No data today, so this is a technical read. Now, I'm sure most of you are saying, but William, this is bullish. Look at the chart, it's bullish. You're correct, it is bullish. But it's bullish because of data. It's not bullish because of the currency pair. It's bullish because of NFP. The pair, if you go to higher time frames, right, 4-hour, daily, it is bearish. I am bearish. I do not want to buy the Aussie dollar, my friends. We want to sell this, okay? And right now, I'm about 2 hours late. If I was going to enter this trade, I should have did it 2 hours ago. But it's okay because the Aussie is really good about pullbacks, and I think we'll be fine as a trade for this currency pair. But we want to sell it, my friends. Sell the Aussie dollar, right? Bearish. Take a look at the Euro Aussie. This has been a really crazy pair in the last week. Last week was unbelievable. And we're still in a nasty chart here, folks. This is nasty price action. We got a lot of stuff left of the chart. I want to sell it. So you know what? Let this come back up to resistance at 1.5529, and we'll sell it all the way down to support that I've got marked on the chart at 1.5378. But we want to sell this. I do not want to buy this pair at the moment, and that's because of what is left of the chart, right? So I'm going to let this come back up, and then we can sell it. The issue with the Euro Aussie is that once this pair gets in a trend, it does very well, and it stays in the trend 2 or 3 days, and then it'll change. However, you got to remember, for traders, this pair moves over 130 pips a day most of the time. So this is a very volatile pair, but it's a great pair to trade once it's in its trend. Right now, it's not in its trend. It's just all over the place, and we got some nasty, nasty price action. So we don't want to do anything at a minimum till London, and probably not till Tuesday. So Monday is going to be like Observation Monday. We're just going to watch a lot of this stuff and see what happens. I hope we get some price action. Of course, we want to trade, right? We want to make pips, and that's what it's all about. Let's take a look at the Euro Yen. Now, this pair has done absolutely great, hasn't it? Last week it did great, and this week it's starting off doing great. Absolutely to the downside. I did put a Fibonacci tool on here. I fibbed the last swing. And we just want to get in this at 121.80, which is the 23.6 Fibonacci level, and we'll sell it. And I know you're saying, William, we've got the daily pivot point right there. You're right. But I don't think it's going to make an issue. I think it's going to go right through it. Look at the angle and separation of the exponential moving averages. They're beautiful. Nice angle, nice to the downside, a lot of separation. And I just think a sell trade is, which I've been bearish on this pair for a very long time. And we could just take this down. The BOJ is done, and, they talk every day, and everything they say they haven't done. So now they were worried about their tax increase, which apparently now is formalized that they're going to delay it 2 years. But it hasn't helped on their currency, right? Their currency is way too strong, and it's hurting their exports, because you know where people are going? China. And China needs that because they're doing horrible too. So we have two countries that are really in bad shape, and the yen is just too strong, and they don't want it where it's at. But they're not doing anything as far as intervention, and they haven't talked about doing anything. All they keep saying is they have tools in the toolbox to monitor their FX. Well, you know what? I haven't seen it, but that's okay. We'll see what happens, so just keep an eye on that. However, we're going to trade what's in front of us, and we're going to take this back up to the 23.6, and we'll sell it. We'll take it back down to 120.32, which is the S2 reversal pivot point. Traders, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. Again, this was sideways for many days. NFP comes out, boom, there she goes. New Zealand pops up there. Now, you can see on the chart I put it's a 32 pip range here, and I want to sell it. That's it. I want to sell it. I want it to come back up to the top of the range, hit resistance again. This at the beginning of Asia was at the top of the range, and 3 hours or whatever, and we just want to bring this back up to 0.6954. Even if you get to 0.50, that's fine, and sell it. Now, what happens if this breaks out of the range to the downside? That's not a problem. What we're going to do is we're going to wait for a retest and confirmation from the bottom of the range. So price is going to break out of the range, and we are going to wait for it to retest it, and then we'll sell it. What is the problem? Well, the problem is we got a daily pivot point. However, if you look left of the chart, there's no price action. So we have a wide open space again. This is the second chart today that we have a wide open space, and we can sell this all the way down, folks. We could absolutely take this down to the 200 exponential moving average. Now, that might take 2 days, but I am bearish in the New Zealand dollar. I want to sell this bear. I don't want to buy the New Zealand dollar. Okay? All right, traders, that wraps up our 6 currency pairs. I want to thank you for joining me today on a Monday, June 6, 2016. Traders, this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Please come visit our website at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, have a great trading day, and we'll talk to you in about 24 hours. Take care, traders. Always remember to trade smart and not hard. See you now. Bye-bye.